Is very good morning. My slides are visible.
Yes,
Vikram,
sir.
my slides are visible.
So Microsoft Teams.
Xavier, my slides are visible. Xavier.
Yes, sir. This is sir.
Yes. The number of attendees is 24. Yesterday we were concluded unit 4. The half of the unit 4 is over since we discussed about the elliptic, parabolic, and hyperbolic equations. And please remember there are two things we need to remember under elliptic. One is Laplace, another one is Poisson equation. Beneath in parabolic, there are three different formulas we need to remember. One is Schmidt, the second one is Bender-Schmidt, the third one is Crank-Nicolson. Concerning the third one, that is hyperbolic, we need to remember the explicit wave equation or reduced form of wave equation or recurrence equation. We need to remember, we need to do the calculations, and there are various assumptions like lambda. We assumed lambda as k by h or k by ah, and that is what about unit 4, half of the unit 4, and unit 3 is already over. Half of the unit 3 is already over, around 60 or 70% percentage of the syllabus is over. And now the left out portion in unit 3 is, since we started the Lagrange's interpolation quite long, and we'll touch the things which we disseminated in the Lagrange's interpolation. This is what the left out content in unit 3, Lagrange's interpolation, triangular family, numerical differentiation and integration. And this is what we discussed earlier, Lagrange's interpolation formula for unequal intervals. And the usual way of dealing the content with interpolation is, we need to know the philosophy, or we need to know the principles for doing the things with equal intervals. But since I have started with Lagrange's, anyway, I'll go with the equal, and then we will in detail we will discuss about the Lagrange's interpolation. And this specifically meant to know the intermittent values for the unequal intervals. There are two, if assume there are two set of equations, data like x and y. If the x is given in an order and y is in an unequal interval, then at that time it is suggested you to go with Lagrange's, since the intervals are unequal. And when there is an equal, at that time there are some techniques available to deal with that equal interval. But the syllabus concerning to our syllabus, it is restricted to unequal. However, knowing the things with equal is very essential, like Gregory Newton's forward interpolations and Gregory Newton's backward interpolation, central difference interpolation formula, Gauss forward interpolation and backward interpolation, Stirling interpolation, Bessel interpolation, Laplace Everett interpolation, and Bessel Laplace. These are all the possibilities under equal intervals. Anyway, we touch the equal interval, and then we will make a detailed note about Lagrange's interpolation. See, this is what we discussed in the classes before unit 4, and even we solved this problem, exercise number 1 and exercise number 2, and even exercise number 3. Exercise number 3, I think during 17th class we solved this exercise number 3, and we stopped with the inverse interpolation. Once this inverse interpolation is over, we will touch the equal interpolation with Newton's. We'll complete the things with the inverse interpolation. Any clarification with these interpolations? Any doubts in the homework problem? That is, this is what I think I have given you to solve. And for y, also find y at x is equal to 2. This is what the thing I have disseminated during 17th class. And when x is equal to, the y value is 4. And in inverse interpolation, and this is won't be an inverse interpolation, and this is what the interpolation by changing x and y in the Lagrange formula will get x as some set of unknowns knowns with y. See, this is what the formula. Instead, x, we transferred x and y. That is what the thing. And find the value of x when y is equal to 85 using Lagrange's formula from the following table. X2 when x is equal to y is 94.8. When x is equal to 5, the y has 87.9. When x is equal to 8, 81.3. When x is equal to 14, then 67.7, 68.7. And it was wrongly written as, see here, Xavier, this is what x naught y naught, let it be x naught, and this will be x1 y1 and x2 y2 x3 y3. Here this is what 1 and 1, this is what 2 and 2, this is what 3 and 3. Okay, Xavier.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, you take the calculator, Xavier. Xavier and Vikram. Vikram?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, Vikram. Okay, this is what the formula, and this is what the generalized formula. And when we are restricted with the number of terms is 3, when we are beginning the beginning with 0. Then we need to converge, or we need to stop our iteration with y minus y 3. We have the term from 0 to 3. So this is what the specific formula for this particular case: y minus y1, y minus y2, y minus y3 divided by y naught minus y1, y naught minus y2, y naught minus y3. Here, when we have the term x naught, we doesn't have the term y minus y naught, and the denominator has to begin with y naught. Similarly, when we have x1, we doesn't have y minus y1, and we need to begin with y1. It continues, the formula continues. And how this can be approached easily? How this can be approached easily? And see, this is what the application. Okay, you please take your calculator. This would be this would be A, and this is what B, and already A, C, the A and D, and let this be E minus again D, again E minus C, again E minus D. You please take your calculator and give open bracket A minus D, sorry, A minus B, close the bracket, again A minus C, again A minus D, divided by, put two brackets. You begin with 2 brackets, E minus D, E minus C, E minus D. You close with double bracket and give CALC. Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The A value is 85, and apply the B value as 87.9.
Sir, the value of first time coming out to be minus of 0.144.
Minus of
0.144.
0. No. You please cross check again. A minus B, A minus C, A minus D, divided by, you give double bracket, and A minus, sorry, E minus D. Here not D, it is B. Here it is B. E minus B, E minus C into E minus D. The A is 85, B is 87.9 and your C is 81.3. Your D is 68.7 and your E is 94.8. What is your answer? Vikram.
Checking.
Yes. Yes, Vikram. What is the answer? Vikram.
Sir, checking, sir.
Siddharth. Yes, Joshua. What is the answer?
Just a second, sir.
Minus 0.0, then
The minus 0.0719.
719, right? Minus 0.071, right? Absolutely, absolutely. You please make a note, Vikram. Vikram, you please make a note. Minus 0.0719 into 2. This is what the coefficient of 2. Okay, you continue the calculation, Xavier. A, again you put A as 85. Then B as 94.8. Then C as 81.3. It is already 81.3, no need to change. And the D is also already there, 68.7. And E, we defined E as a first term, 87.9. And what is the answer?
0.39.
No. No. Again, you cross check. A 85, B 94.5, 94.8, 94.8, and C there won't be any change with the C. There won't be any change with the D. There isn't change in B and E alone. 87.9 E. 0 point. Make it fast. Make it fast, Xavier. Vikram.
Yes, sir, doing, sir.
So 0.675.
Yes, absolutely. 0.6759.
59.
Yes, you make a note, Vikram. Vikram, you please make a note. 0.6759 into 5. Okay. Now you continue, Xavier. A is 85. B is there won't be any change with the B, 94.8. C there isn't change with the C, 87.9. And the D, there won't be any change with the D, and there isn't change with the E, 81.3. Okay, let me know the answer.
0.4126.
Very good, 4126. Very good. You please make a note, Vikram. Yes, you continue, Xavier. 85. A is 85, and B is 94.8. C 87.9, and D 81.3. That isn't change with the D. 81.3 is then give equal to, and E is 68.7. Yes.
What was the third question? 7?
Pardon.
So I didn't heard third fraction value.
You are getting?
Sir, will you please
Xavier.
pardon third fraction?
No, I didn't get your point, Xavier. Xavier.
0.1665.
Very good, very good. 0.01665. Let it be 0.0166. Let it be minus 0.01166 or 167. Yes, very good. Someone told. Very good. Yes. Here, this is what the results. There isn't change. Here, it won't be right. Minus 0.0167. 167. Yes. Yes, Sushma, you calculate these things and tell me what is X.
Okay, sir.
Probably 5 point. Five point something.
Sir, coming 6.3027.
Sir,
Yes.
6.3027, sir.
6.30.
27.
Yes, someone also along with Sushma said. I think Xavier. Xavier?
No, sir, it was Vikram, I think.
Vikram, what is the answer, Vikram? 6 point?
The same, sir.
Same.
6.3027.
Yes, good. 6.3027. Very good. Yes, this is what about the inverse interpolation, and the set of data is given x and y. If we need to find y, then that is probably termed as interpolation, and when we are concerning about x, then they are terming as inverse interpolation. And see, let me introduce the final difference, and let me crack about the basics about these interpolations, and then we will continue the session. And before that, what happened yesterday? What was the current affair? What was the current affair? Go ahead with the current affair.
So yesterday, terrorists, due to the attack of terrorists, 3 soldiers died, sir.
Is in Jammu Kashmir, five people died. 2 army men, 2 militants, 5 army men, 2 militants killed in 4 gunfights in Jaitlin in a day. Jawans returning from the encounter site at Kagad in Anantnag district in South Kashmir on Monday. Yes. Then Vikram.
Sir, KKR won, sir.
Pardon, Vikram.
In yesterday match, KKR versus RCB, KKR won, sir.
KKR won. Very good. You make a detailed note. Yes, go ahead, Vikram. Usually Pranav will detail. By this time, you make a detailed note about the yesterday's match.
Fine, sir. I will just tell you. Basically, like RCB's hopes of again going for the quest for the trophy has actually again been shattered by KKR yesterday. The man of the match was Sunil Narayan, and he picked up he picked up 4 crucial wickets of all the top 4 batsmen: Virat Kohli, Maxwell, and AB de Villiers, and one more person. He picked up all their wickets, and also with the bat he shone in the later half. So RCB won the toss and elected to bat first, and yeah, the power play started off well, but but then again in the middle overs, the wickets kept falling, and it was again like a huge a batting collapse. Virat Kohli was looking in good touch, and after that, he also departed with an excellent delivery from Sunil Narayan. He was bowled off a delivery from Sunil Narayan, and due to the collapse, what was supposed to be a very good start in the power play of 53 for 1, it ended up with only they ended up with only about 138 runs as the total. So, and RCB has never defended a total lesser than 145 since 2009. So, it was already like slightly a demoralizing statistic for them. So, going inside the second innings, yes, again the power play started off in an explosive way from Venkatesh Iyer and Shubman Gill. Then again, RCB looked to come back in the game with both Yuzvendra Chahal as well as Harshal Patel bowling brilliantly. Really economical spells along with taking of wickets, and RCB were looking back inside the game when Sunil Narayan came and he played a cameo about some 23 odd runs from about 14 balls or something like that. I'm not sure about the exact figure, but yeah, something of that sort. And at the end, the asking rate was very low, like about some 14 from 17 balls were required. So KKR comfortably managed to cruise till the victory. But however, RCB took the match till they were able to defend the match till the last over, and eventually they lost. They lost the match. It was slightly an emotional moment for Virat Kohli because it was his last match as a captain. He has announced that he will no longer be captaining the RCB side, and what was going on in what was seeming to be a really good year for RCB, the hopes for the trophy has come to an end. We hope that he'll win it sometime in the future. Yes.
Oh, this was the last match in concerning T20 as a captain in T20 or
No, sir.
Yes,
In
sir. Like
IPL.
for IPL, he said that from the next season he will not be captaining his franchise. I mean, like he has decided to step down as the captain of his franchise, that is RCB. And in international cricket, after this upcoming T20 World Cup, he will no longer be the captain of the Indian T20 side. He will, however, continue to serve as a player for the T20 side as well as the captain for the Test and the ODI side for the Indian cricket team. Yeah.
For IPL, I think he has the liberation, but concerning the international matches, he has a liberation that he can decide whether
No, sir. He has
yes.
decided to step down as the captain in both international as well as franchise T20 cricket, sir.
No, whether he himself he can step down as
Yes, sir.
step
He
down.
himself,
Yes, sir.
he himself said that he is stepping down because of too much workload for him. Because he's the captain of all the three formats, and so I mean he said like I want some more family time and stuff like that. Wasn't getting much of time, so which is why he said, and also like he's been through a slightly lean patch in terms of his batting. Although the numbers are not average, but when compared to his standards, those are like quite average. So he said he also wants to focus a lot more on his batting. So which is why he decided to step down from captaincy. It was his decision to step down from the captaincy. So yes, sir.
Okay. What would be the opinion about the subsequent captainship concerning the international matches?
So
In
Rohit Sharma
internet,
will be captaining.
most probably Rohit Sharma will be captaining, sir, because of his success in the IPL. He has won 5 IPL trophies as a captain. Also, Asia Cup 2018, he won as the captain. So Rohit Sharma is like automatic favorite for this for the being the next captain. Unless and otherwise, if the selectors think that they need to look for something long term, because Rohit Sharma is already 35. He's approaching 35 years, and so there's always going to be an uncertainty about how much time can he continue to play. So if the selectors are looking for a long-term objective, it could either be KL Rahul because he was the vice captain in the India versus Australia series in the absence of Rohit Sharma, or they could look for someone like a wicketkeeper batsman like Rishabh Pant, who has captained his side excellently in the IPL, or else Shreyas Iyer could again be a potential candidate. So these could be the three candidates, but clearly when compared to all of them, Rohit Sharma is leading by a huge margin. Unless and otherwise they take the age factor into consideration, Rohit Sharma will most probably be the next captain.
Yes, good. Go ahead, Siddharthan.
No, sir. He said everything.
It was detailed. Okay, fine. Fine, good. Yes, fine. Since quite long a time we were unable to concentrate over these matches and cricket, and day by day I'm learning the things what is happening in cricket from your end, and it was fine. And any other current affairs? Any other current affairs from your side? Anyway, the Nobel team announces day by day they are announcing the awards even for economics. Yesterday, I think they announced for economics, and you please concentrate over that news too.
Yeah, sure, sir. We'll read about that also.
Yes, yes. Yes. Okay, we'll continue the session. Yes, my slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Yes. Yes. See, see the finite difference. Later, we will crack the things with the interpolation, and we introduce the finite difference, and even during the introductory class itself, I have detailed about the necessity for knowing the things with finite difference and finite volumes and numerical methods. And finite, the finite deals, it is very closer to us because when we are dealing with the finite, not only in the sense of tiny or nano, when we are dealing with the unknown geometry and unknown boundary condition, at that time the term deals with finite. The unknown and unknown boundaries are made as or splitted into known regular geometry possibly, and that known regular geometry usually termed as finite, and these finite geometries are connected at one particular point, usually called as in nodes or nodal points. Then this has to be continued, and the properties of each finite element is derived and assembled and solved as whole to get solution. That is what finite element analysis, and that is what they need to know, knowing about the numerical methods. And here let y is equal to f of x be the given function of x, and let the y0, y1 and y2 be the values of the y corresponding to the x0, and not here I am going to detail with x0 plus h. I'm instead x1 I am detailing x0 plus h, x0 plus 2h, and so on, in which the value of x, that is y0 is equal to f of x0, and y1 is equal to f of x0 plus h, and it continues. And when yn is equal to f of x0 plus n into h, here the independent variable, that is x proceeds at equally spaced interval, and the interval being h, that is constant, the difference between the two consecutive values of the x, which is called the interval of differencing. Now y1 minus y0, you please cope up with these slides. This would be beneficial for the various vocabularies or nomenclatures related to the interpolations or detail, as well along with the terminologies in the Newton's forward and backward interpolations, and for unequal intervals, these terminologies as well these vocabularies are essential. You please be with us since it doesn't have anything to you to solve. You please you cope up with the content which we are disseminating now. The y1 minus y0 and y2 minus y1 and yn minus yn minus 1 are called the first difference of the function, which is y, and the difference of these yn values are denoted by delta yn. Delta yn, here this is what the first difference. This is what the first difference. If it is delta, then that is the first difference. Then here we are going to detail with delta square and delta cube. That is not delta square and delta cube. That is what the second difference and third difference. And when n is equal to the n begins from 0 until the last term. Here delta acts as an operator which is called the forward difference operator. This is what the delta y naught is equal to y1 minus y naught. Then delta y1 is equal to y2 minus y1. Therefore, the generalized formula of delta yn is yn plus 1 minus yn plus 1 minus yn. And the difference of these first differences are called a second difference. Differences of first difference. What is go ahead. Don't take much time. What is moment of force? What is moment? Someone you please. What is moment? What is moment of inertia? Even in one particular class, I detail about the difference between couple, torque, and moment. The moment. What is moment of inertia and what is moment? Yes, Anshu.
Yes, sir.
Anshu, yes. Yes, Anshu, we heard your voice too. It took, I think, there are a week or more than a month. We heard your voice. Yes.
Yes, sir. Like.
Are you able
my
to?
mind-
Yes. What about?
Sir, I think the moment of inertia is the mass multiplied by the square of the perpendicular distance to the axis of the.
Yes. Moment of force it is moment of force. We need to adjoin with again x, f into x square. Then what is that is what the moment of inertia. What we should inertia. Similarly, these first difference are called second difference. It is very simple, and here we are going to make as delta square. It won't be a square. It won't be a square. It is the second difference. Delta square y naught is equal to delta y naught. So this is what delta into y minus y1 is y naught. Already we have y1 is about this delta y1 and delta y. That is minus y1 minus of y1 minus y naught. So delta square y naught is equal to the second difference y naught is equal to this y1 is only y2 and continues for y2 second difference of y3 and yn. And see, in general, delta n y is equal to delta n minus 1 yk plus 1 minus delta n minus 1 yk. Delta minus delta y minus delta the difference of y naught is equal to the first difference of y1 minus first y naught, and that is what detailed here. The delta n yk is equal to delta n minus 1 yk plus 1 minus delta n minus 1 yk, and which defines the nth difference where k and n are right, the subsequent table, which is usually called forward difference table. See, a set of x and y given to us, and we need to find the forward interpolation, and this two will be delta y naught, and the difference between y1 and y2 will be delta y1, and here the difference between the y naught and delta y1 being delta square variation of values. Q more than and why why
Sir,
not why not
sir, your voice is
why
lagging.
can't this I have to delta y2 this is what the
Sir,
v plus 3y1 minus y2. Yes,
sir, your
yes,
voice
go
is
ahead.
lagging.
Do you guys? Yes, yes. Here, I think there is a network issue. Sometimes it went wrong. Now check Anshu. Anshu, now it is good.
Yes, sir.
Somewhat, I think somewhat here. Still, the network issue persists. I am connected through my network, my mobile network. It won't be good as institution network. Okay. See, note the difference of operator delta may also be defined as the equation. Instead, y we can have our f of x delta f of x, which is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x, where h is the interval of spacing, and instead y even we can write with the f of x delta f of x is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x, and we can continue this with the second difference delta square f of x, which is equal to delta of f of x. Instead delta f of x I can write as f of x plus h minus f of x, and this can be given to both the terms, and delta f of x plus h, instead that what I can apply f of x plus 2h minus f of x plus h, and instead delta f of x I can apply the f of x plus h minus f of x, and so there are two terms with f of x plus h, and that is what accumulated here. So f of x plus 2h minus 2 f of plus h plus f of x, and see, and this is what for the third difference of f of x, which is very similar to that of the y uh, third difference of y. Obviously, see, this is what the third difference, y3 minus 3y2 plus 3y1 minus y0, and that is what written here in terms of f. And so this is what the generalized form of delta n f of x and delta n minus 1 f of x plus h minus delta n minus 1 f of x. And see the differences delta f of x, second difference of f of x, and third difference and nth difference are called first, second, third difference of f of x. The difference of delta y, second difference of difference of y, second difference of y, third difference of y, which is called leading differences, and the term y naught is called leading term and leading differences. And here delta is not a quantity but a symbol standing for an operation. It is an symbol for operation, and it won't be a square and cube. It is a difference, second difference and third difference, and the constant which is associated with delta is equal to 0. But when it was associated with f of x, the constant can be taken out, and we can further proceed. And Newton's forward interpolation, this is what see, this is what detailed above delta y naught, delta y1 and y2, and I am taking the constant, and I am taking the y naught, and I am taking the see here y naught taken out, and 1 plus delta into y naught, 1 plus delta power 2 into the second difference y naught, the third difference, and the nth difference, and this was the generalized form. Yn is equal to 1 plus delta power n, and it won't be a power, it is the difference into y naught. And see the expanding 1 plus delta whole power n by the binomial theorem. You already have about the which is equal to 1 n into delta n delta plus n into n minus 1 delta square by 2 factorial plus n into n plus 1 n plus 2 into delta power 3 by 3 factorial, and it continues and into y naught. Similarly, the instead yn what I can apply f of x naught plus n into h, and I have multiplied this y naught with all the terms. So y naught plus n into y naught, and the term continues. This is what the formula. This is what the formula for forward. Newton's forward interpolation, or Grigori-Newton forward interpolation, and this formula is very useful and which gives the greater accuracy when x naught plus nh is nearer to the beginning of the table. See, x naught plus n into h is beginning to the table. If it is the value required to find at the end, then we need to depend with the backward interpolation formula. That is what the difference. If the data is very near to the initial range, at that time this Newton's formula returns the accurate value. Even it can applied for finding the values nearer to the x at the end, but the accuracy will be minimal. At that time we need to depend the Newton's backward interpolation. If it is the values nearer to the mean, at that time we need depend the central difference formula. And the first two terms of the above formula will give the linear interpolation, and the rest will give the parabolic interpolation. And already the time is 12:22, and see, this is what a simple formula. With this simple problem, with this problem we will wind up the today's lecture. See, find the missing of yx values from the first difference. It is very simple. See, yx and delta yx, and instead the missing terms I am introducing a, b, c, d, e, and the delta, the first difference is given here. With that first difference we can find the unknown. It is very simple. See, instead of various unknown, I am introducing a, b, c, d, e, and we know the difference, that is a minus 0 is equal to 0, b minus a is equal to 1, c minus b is equal to 2, d minus c is equal to 4, and e minus d is equal to 7, and that is what here given here. And with this we can find the unknown. A is equal to 1, b minus a is equal to t, 2, b minus a, sorry, b minus a, see, I have detailed in a different b. A minus 0 is equal to 1, a minus 0 is equal to 1, b minus a is equal to 2, c minus b is equal to 4, d minus c is equal to 7, e minus d is equal to 11. From that, a is equal to 1, while applying a value in b, we will get 3, c is equal to 7, d is equal to 14, and e is equal to 25. Okay, with this we'll wind up today's lecture. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
Yes. Hope you are preparing for your presentation. You are preparing. You don't waste the time. You start preparing for your assignment 2, and you in a daily manner you try to copy down the things which we are disseminating. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow 12:30. We'll meet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.